Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we're talking about the storage for the PlayStation 5. I was part of the beta. So when I started in the beta, I had already bought in the Samsung 980 Pro 1TB model for my PlayStation 5. I had that hooked up to a heatsink. I put a heatsink on that and stuck it in there, and I got 5,600 megabytes. 5,600 megabytes of read speed. It was like 5535 or something on that first attempt with the Samsung 1TB. So, like anybody, I'd be like, "Whoa, man!" But that says 7,000 megabytes a second, you know. And I kind of was like a little worried about that. Samsung does have not necessarily a throttler, but you kind of need to update the. Well, this is what everybody thought. You kind of need to update the firmware for it to be able to use more of that read speed. So there's been reports out there of people getting as low as 5,500 megabytes a second, all the way up to the advertised speed on these cards. Just it's kind of the luck of the draw. So I did a little bit more thinking about this, a little more research, and then I bought my second Samsung 980 Pro, a 2TB model. You're probably wondering, why does this guy keep buying Samsung if it's not giving him the proper read speeds or whatever? So, after putting this Samsung, the 2TB in there, and it gave me the first reading, it was like 5,600 megabytes. I was like, okay, whatever. So then I reformatted it again before I saved anything on it. Then I got 5,735. So that got me thinking, does this really matter? Is this really like what it's gonna be giving me the whole time, or is this just something that when I first booted it up and it did the initial read or whatever, it was like, oh, okay, like this is 5,700. So I am under the impression that this is not the actual, full read speed. I mean, because if it went up a whole freaking another 100 megabytes just from rebooting it or reformatting it, then there's something a little fishy about that. Now, the reason why I stuck with Samsung is because even if it is running lower, that means it'll be running cooler, right? That's what I would think. It would probably be running cooler. Digital Foundry did a video about getting the bare minimum that they could do, and that card was giving them like a 5,300 megabyte read speed, and it was still working, with games of like Ratchet and Clank and stuff. Well, on mine, I put every PlayStation game on this memory card or on this SSD, and I've played through a lot of them, so I don't necessarily think that this is going to be a problem. I'm not seeing any difference in loading speeds. I mean, if anything, it's running maybe a little bit faster off this card. So at the end of the day, I'm inclined to think that, man, this probably just doesn't matter that much. Like, it probably really doesn't matter. The reason why I went with the 2TB, and this is my reasoning. It doesn't have to be your reasoning or whatever. I did still keep my 1TB card. I just put that in an enclosure, and I'm using that as backup storage. So if I need more storage, so it's basically with all my stuff downloaded to the 2TB card. If a game that's that heavy, that needs that full whatever bandwidth that the PlayStation 5 SSD has over the Samsung, then I got plenty of room on that to just put it on there and play it from my internal PlayStation 5 memory. So the discounts that you can get on these Samsung cards, as opposed to and the availability of these cards, that kind of outweighs whatever negligible speed difference you might encounter. I was looking at the Western Digital SN850. Like, I was like, okay, I'll just pick up one of those, or I will grab that Seagate Fire CUDA. Either one of them. I mean, like, either way you go, if you buy 2TB, it's $400. You know what I mean? It's like, well, those cards are like $450 and four something. So either way you go, you're looking at double that. You're looking at double that price. If you want to try to get any one of those with the heatsink already installed, people have already bought those up, and they are already trying to price gouge you for double the price. For 2TB. That's ridiculous. Samsung didn't have that problem. I was able to go into my local Best Buy and grab this one right off the shelf. Right off the shelf. Boom. $359. They matched price with Amazon. Amazon is carrying these for $359 right now for a 2 terabyte Samsung 980 Pro. It's like $180 for a 1 terabyte Samsung 980 Pro. So either way you go, honestly, right now nobody's mass buying these Samsung cards because, yeah, they're just like, there's too many reports about them not getting 7,600 megabytes. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. And the fact that this card works just fine, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, you might be thinking, oh man, I'm gonna get, but there are differences, man. Like, your card's not gonna get as hot if it's running at a lower speed. If it's hitting at least the 5,500 that PlayStation asks for, it should be fine. It should do just fine. There's so much confusion about what's really going on out there. You've got Firecuda saying that, hey man, we're the only ones that are confirmed, and then you've got Mark Cerny coming out and saying, oh yeah, the Western Digital 820 or 850 is fine. So there is a little bit of confusion out there on the market as to which one you really should buy and which one is going to really give you the best for your money. But this 980 Pro works just fine in my PlayStation 5, and it's cheaper. You can save a little bit of money. If, like I said, if you do get to a point where the game's not running fast enough on this 980 Pro, you can always put it on your internal storage in your PlayStation 5. And you can check there to see what the performance is on that too. So you have options, and these cards are working. I mean, 2 seconds of loading speed, does that really matter? 2 seconds, like, it doesn't really matter. That's so negligible. It doesn't, like, the extra $400 that you're going to spend for the pirated cost or the scalper's cost. You know, if you have to have one of them other cards versus the saving, you know, like $60 and getting a card. I mean, you're saving enough on these to where it's like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, you're essentially, you know, might be getting less, but you're also paying less. So that's my feeling on the Samsung 980 Pro. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.